I want to have somebody, we also need a little diversity here. Now you don't have to be that young, you can be young enough to get down there. Oh, well, I'm not going to tie anybody, it's not age discrimination, but
I'll go.
that's on you. I can't tell nobody. And if you feel like you need to get up, we'll help you up. Don't get too close, don't crowd in.
Anybody want to help you down?
Be careful, don't step on one another. Be safe.
Sorry.
That's good. Be safe. Be careful. Don't do it just to do it. Do it if it's safe.
You laying on your back, not on your side, but on your back.
Don't do it, don't hurt yourself.
No, I won't.
All right.
Like you already admitted.
And I place the placard on side of them. As everybody, if we want you healthy, we don't want nothing. Put the placard right across. Accident.
Gun balance.
But it would come as a surprise to many to know that poverty is right up there and in fact higher than the things we just named. In fact, many ills that have inspired investigative committees, major policy investments, and sustained attention from the public and private sectors kill less people than poverty. Recently, a study has shown that cumulative poverty over many years is the fourth leading cause of death in this country. The fourth leading. Current poverty just this year is being poor right now is seventh on that list. And it alone causes, watch this, 10 times as many deaths as homicide. And yet every night you see news stories about homicide, and every politician will run and claim they're going to address crime and making the country safe. They're going to make country safe from those that would pull the trigger of a gun. But what about those who are pulling the trigger of public policy?
That's right.
5 times as many deaths as gun violence. I know we talked a lot about police violence and gun violence and racist police killing black people, but you cannot raise that issue when poverty kills more black people than the racist cops ever killed. You cannot raise the gun violence issue, which ought to be raised. I'm on the front lines, I believe. But you can't raise that issue and say you're concerned about death and not look at the fact that poverty kills 5 times more people than gun violence. 2.5 times as many deaths as drug overdoses for opioids. And think about that. 5 people died from vaping, and we had a presidential level hearing. People always run, we're going to deal with opioids, but poverty kills 2.5 times more than drug overdoses. Cumulative poverty lingers year after year, and cumulative poverty is associated with 60% more death than current poverty, putting only heart disease and cancer and smoking-related deaths above the number of people that are killed by poverty. If this is true, why do we hear so much about crime rates and opioid epidemic and gun violence, but so little from our elected leaders about poverty? Why is there no Surgeon General's warning on a low-wage job? The relationship of poverty to disease and death is well established. Detailed reports by the World Health Organization, the World Bank, and our own government. But we as a people too often have become numb to the unnecessary and untold deaths that are normalized, as if to say poor folk are supposed to die, and then preachers are supposed to stand over and lie. And say God called him home when God didn't have a damn thing to do with it. God may welcome them home, but God didn't have nothing to do with killing them. Sadly, the United States is the leader among poverty among rich countries of the world. We cannot claim exceptionalism and go around the world telling other folk what they need to do. As long as this is a reality, as of 2019, the United States had the worst poverty rate overall, 17.8%, and in children, 20.9% among the 25 wealthiest countries. And so it's past time. We've known it. We couldn't do it as much in public because of COVID, but now it's coming out time for real. If you think we were protesting in 2018 from COVID, and we went into COVID with poverty killing 4 times more than the 4th leading cause of death, and we've seen our loved ones killed and murdered through policy during COVID, if you think we were allowed then, you ought to see the aftermath that's coming now. We are not alive to be quiet.
That's right.
We are not alive to go back in our shelves and go back in our closets. We are not alive to just take things as they are. We are together. We are black. We are white. We are brown. We are Asian. We are indigenous. We are young. We are old. We are of every party. We are gay. We are straight. We are Jewish. We are Muslim. We are Christian. We are Unitarian. We are people of faith, people not of faith. And not only aren't we going anywhere, we're going to get louder and louder and louder. Arms together and make the case for an economy that works for everybody. And we're not doing it not knowing what power we have. We have not only the power to be loud, we got the power to send some of y'all home. We got the power to determine who the president is. We're going to wake up this sleeping giant of 87 million poor and low-wealth people in this country. Because if the United States is going to claim to be the beacon of democracy in a world and a nation committed to establishing justice and promoting the general welfare at home, it cannot be true that poverty is the 4th leading cause of death in the richest nation in the world. And we say, like Martin said, maybe in another country we wouldn't say anything, but you said on paper that you were about establishing justice. If you didn't mean it, you shouldn't have written it down. But since you did, we're going to hold you accountable. That's why poor and low-wealth people are fighting for our lives. Clergy, we're fighting for our people's lives. Advocates, we are fighting for our lives. And today, we are calling on you to support the introduction of a 3rd Reconstruction. We've had 2, but they didn't finish the job.
That's right.
One in the 1800s, one in the 1960s. We need a 3rd Reconstruction. We are outlining a 3rd Reconstruction resolution to ask you, as leaders, as elected leaders, do you even have the resolve, just the heart to fight for these matters? And we remind you what the scriptures say, since you pray every morning when you open the legislative, the Congress. But the problem is you pray P-R-A-Y, and then after that you pray P-R-E-Y. Woe unto those who legislate evil and rob the poor of their rights and make women and children their prey. And so we are together. We're staying together. We're going to raise our voices. We're going to raise our votes. When necessary, we're going in the streets. When necessary, we'll fill up the jails. We don't have to do it violently, but we will do it victoriously. We don't have to be mean, but we're going to be a movement. We're going to stand up and not sit down. We were born for this time. We are the ancestors. We are the descendants of the ancestors that stood before us. They fought worse and won. We must fight in our time. You know what? We're going to let everybody know. If you've been wondering, when poor folk and black folk and brown folk and all different races of folk and folk from Appalachia to Alabama, from Carolina to California, from Kansas to Kentucky, from farmers to fast food workers, if you've been wondering when they were going to get together, we are that movement. And so today, now we want to hear from a face, because we always say put a face.
Put a face on it.
Put a face on it.
That's right.
Say put a face on it.
Put a face on it.
So to do that, Joyce from Ohio. And if y'all need to get up, it's fine. Joyce from
Think they
Ohio.
done took a nap?
Help them up, y'all. Be behind our people.
Come on, come on.
Joyce from Ohio. I got you. I'm just repeating.
Thank you, young people. Thank you, young people.
Kim Burks from West Virginia. Kim Burks from West. Help her up. Help her up. From West Virginia.
I got it.
Thank them for being a picture.